I will say that, and Steve, you and I talked about this last week. There was the moment, if we can sort of pull out from this 3.5 week drama in the House race, House Speaker's race, there was this moment where Jim Jordan was blocked from winning the speakership, and he was blocked by a group of institutionalists, people who, for varying reasons, viewed not just Jordan, but sort of what Jordan represented as a bridge too far. These are House Republicans from moderates. I wouldn't really even call them moderates. They're moderate conservatives. They're center right. They're not moderates in any kind of real ideological way. People from districts that lean or even went toward Biden, swing districts, or even voted for Biden, particularly in New York, and people like Kay Granger, the chair of the Appropriations Committee, an institutionalist if there ever were one in the House. They blocked Jim Jordan. And there was this sense after they did that maybe House Republicans had some kind of spine, that there were bridges too far for them to go. And that was, even if you had that interpretation, you could see even more evidence in that when the vote, after the floor vote failed for the third time for Jim Jordan to be elected speaker, it went back to the Republican conference, and Jordan was overwhelmingly voted essentially to say the vote for Jordan collapsed after that point. I should say that, and Republicans clearly wanted to move on. Then you had everything that Steve went through just now that happened this week with Emmer's election as the speaker designee after Jordan, his call to Trump, Trump's essential, I'm thinking of Joaquin Phoenix in The Gladiator when he's sort of pointing his thumb, should he go up or down? And Trump pointed eventually down on Tom Emmer. I have a piece coming up. It probably will be up by the time this podcast is published, about what was going on beyond Donald Trump himself. And I actually wonder if Donald Trump is somewhat of a lagging indicator in what's going on here. I've been paying attention a lot to War Room, the podcast and broadcast by Steve Bannon, the former Trump aide and a sort of unofficial spokesman for the populist conservative wing of the party. They believe, and they being Bannon and his crew, they believe that this whole process has been a big victory for them. Matt Gaetz is their kind of mole inside the Republican conference, and they've been pushing against Kevin McCarthy. They pushed against Steve Scalise. They pushed against Tom Emmer. They even took Jim Jordan's failure as a kind of win for them as well. Jim Jordan 2.0, Steve Bannon liked to say he'd gone soft since he started working with McCarthy. They're now looking at Mike Johnson as a victory for them because he is as Steve pointed out, essentially subservient to Donald Trump. Pushed forward that 2020 Texas amicus, the Texas lawsuit. Mike Johnson sort of spearheaded behind the scenes the amicus brief, friend of the court, friend of the plaintiffs, to push back against the election results, I think in 4 states that Biden won at the end of 2020, sort of last-ditch effort by House Republicans to block the 2020 election. They view this all as a victory for them. They defeated the bad guys, which is the Republican establishment. And yes, they're sort of they were going to claim victory no matter what, the populist conservatives, the Bannon wing. But I think they're kind of right. I don't actually see where institutionalists, Trump skeptics in the party can find victory this week. I don't know. Sarah, maybe it's up to you to do this.